Hey, everybody. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a great night. If you are tuning in through TikTok, I fixed my camera. We're not crooked this week. I got a replacement. Feeling much better, much cleaner. So, welcome. Good to see you guys. All right. If you guys could please on TikTok give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. All right, welcome everybody on YouTube. Good to see you guys. If you could please give me a thumbs up here on YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. What camera am I looking at? This one. Okay, so we've got Jessica, Rachel, Vanessa. Okay, very good. All right, Destiny says we are good. So while we let a few people tune in, I do want to make a couple quick announcements. See if I can get my hair to stop making me crazy. All right. So we have coming up a couple events. That is tarot. If you have been wanting to take tarot here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy and you were hoping to be in with our original tarot teacher, who is also our astrologer, she's also one of the reverends for Roots Revival Interfaith, our Reverend Christina Del Rey, astrologer and tarot teacher. Her class is now back. She invented the intuitive method of teaching tarot here at the Academy. We always want to make sure that our tarot students aren't stuck using a tool. A common problem with tarot or any tool is that once you get in the habit of using it, you don't feel comfortable leaving it behind. You don't feel comfortable venturing out and exploring things like mediumship, which is really the evolution of all types of intuitive and energy work. We want to be able to accurately channel spirit from the other side. So her method is designed to teach you the tradition of the cards, of course, so that you understand tarot, but also to evolve into those higher levels of channeling. So check it out. Now, a bunch of people are like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's not up yet. April 1st. Okay, so all the posts I've been putting up, they say April 1st, it becomes downloadable. Yes, you can still get certified and become an Ivy League Psychic Academy reader through her program. So you have the option to just get the videos and do it your own way, or to actually get the certification through her. So check it out, April 1st. The Art of Tarot with Christina Del Rey goes up on the website. Also, I think we're down to like 10 tickets for our monthly walk-in night virtual psychic fair every month. $15 equals 2 readings, 2 healings, a reading and a healing. You can mix or match. And it is this month on the 26th. I think I have the right date. It's this Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. You're going to want to go ahead and get your tickets now. And that is an event that the reason it's so reasonable, it's showcasing students and recent graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We've got everything this month from like orographs, psychic mediumship, pet readings, paranormal consultations, Reiki. Check it out. The Psychic Mediumship course starts April 25th. I'm sick and tired of announcing it, so that's all I'm going to say. Anybody who follows me already knows. Okay, on April 24th is the free 3-hour class, Taste of Psychic Mediumship. Get your foot in the door if you want a spot. It is very limited. It is through Zoom and in person, and that's the day we draw the raffle. So if you didn't already get your raffle tickets, go ahead and get them. This can win you $2,100 value, a free Psychic Mediumship course. And Psychic Mediumship course starts the very next day. April 25th. To register, you can go to psychicmediumshipcourse.com. Our May 28th Psychic Fair, it is virtual, it is online, and it's in person here at the new location at the Ivy League headquarters. here in Dunkirk, New York. Tickets are now on sale for the readers and healers for the May 28th Psychic Fair. And I am launching the paranormal tours, the supernatural tours, the ghost hunts on that day. 12 people per group. Get your foot in the door for that now. And Reiki. If you've been waiting to train with me in Reiki, I haven't done this in several years. I've had teachers that I train to become masters and then go out and teach it at the school. So I am actually teaching it directly on April 2nd. You can join through Zoom or in person, but that is also limited. Okay. It's also available through video download. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Looks like Rachel, Vanessa, Destiny, Jan, Jessica, Jill Marie. Okay, good. So we're doing good here on YouTube and we're doing good on TikTok, it appears. If I could get everybody right now to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, subscribe to the channel, and donations are always appreciated. If you want to join to become a member here on YouTube for all kinds of extras, your monthly horoscope, direct spirit messages, things like that, you're going to hit that join button. All right, looks good. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. I own a school called Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally online, and we're slowly getting back to in-person in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to Reiki, tarot, astrology, numerology, paranormal work, empathic work, meditation, you name it, we do it. We train children as well as adults. So check out a full list of classes at ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. And if you need to book a reading, a party, or corporate event with me, you can go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com or submit an email question. Now, if you guys are tuning in here for the first time, what you've caught is one of my free mini classes. I've been putting out 1 to 2 per week since the pandemic hit, called the Quarantine Series. And at this point, we have quite a few. So if you go onto my YouTube at Ask Ivy, up in the playlist under mini classes, you're going to see all the free mini classes I've been doing. And what you guys have caught here tonight is Fighting the Dark Part 2. The first class I ever put out was actually about a year before the pandemic hit, and it was called Fighting the Dark. And it sort of exploded. It became incredibly popular, and I decided instead of charging for it, I was going to give it away free of charge, and it helped many, many people. I recently refilmed it, and so there are 2 versions of it, the original old version, a newer version, and so many people requested a part 2 that's what we're going to be looking at tonight. So if you haven't already seen the original, go back and watch Fighting the Dark. Now, this part 2 is more geared toward those who have already done some research on Fighting the Dark part 1. They've learned to apply some of the insights from part 1 and are figuring out how exactly the world works when you are going through a level up and you are getting attacked. So when we go through a level up, here's a quick recap, okay, on Fighting the Dark Part 1. And this is for everybody. You go through a level up in life, and all of a sudden, everything starts to fall apart. Blocks, obstacles, tests start coming in, crossing your path chronically, constantly. It's exhausting. You don't know what went wrong. You thought things were going the right direction, and now you are drained and feeling insecure about the choices that you're making. We talk in part 1 about the 5 different ways you're going to find yourself under attack or being tested, and how the majority of the time, if it's coming from lower, darker, negative energy, it's actually going to come from those in your inner circle. That's your family, your friends, whoever you're in bed with. Often those absolutely closest to us that we have been trusting. So our guard is down, and they are the ones that are most easily used by negative energy in the universe to attack us, because they're going to be effective. So when you start to realize these patterns in life, you're able to say, okay, I understand that anytime I am in a good place where I have an opportunity to level up in my life, I'm going to end up being under attack. And you can get more skilled at preparing for it, figuring out where it's going to come from, and sort of, laugh it off. Doesn't make it any easier, but it definitely allows for you to protect yourself and to plan ahead. All right. So, what I want to talk about today are the different things that go on when you are beyond that point. You've recognized already that new level does equal new devil, and you're doing things in your life to improve and grow regardless of that. What do most people do? They crumble. When they get squeezed, when the pressure is on, when the fire is lit, most people flee. They use avoidance or escapism. They want someone to take care of them. They become very infantile and they fail. So we want to focus today on those people who have decided, I don't care how tough it is. I'm going to keep going forward and I'm going to fulfill my life contract. All right. So we are gearing this toward 3 different groups of people today. Group number 1. You understand that you come here with a purpose. You come here with an astrology chart. You come here with a numerology chart. You come here with a life contract. It's all the same thing. When you decided that you were going to come back to Earth, you took a good, serious look at everything that you needed to get done. And you would have filled out this contract with your guides, especially your work and money guide alongside you. And you would have agreed to learn certain lessons, to complete certain tasks, to get involved in certain relationships. And everything within your life contract is on a deadline. So everyone who comes to you in spirit, what the universe is supporting, your higher mind, all of this is about getting you to fulfill that contract and getting you to fulfill the things in that contract on deadline. All right. So people who are doing that are more susceptible to new level, new devil. They are susceptible to having to fight the dark energy and the 5 different ways of attack far more frequently and on different levels of intensity and in different ways. All right. So we're going to break that down today. So that's the first group. Those of us who are abiding by our life contract, no matter how hard it is, we're going to plow through and get it done. Group number 2, light workers and healers. Can I get a raise of hands? Who here is a light worker or a healer? Did you come to Earth with a contract that automatically made you a healer or a light worker? Well, if you did, it would be pretty undeniable for you at this stage. By the time you're tuning into this, I'm sure you've noticed that your life has been more difficult than the average person. I'm sure you are either a minority, you're marginalized, you may be feeling as though your life from birth was under some type of hardship or constant attacks. Possibly you grew up with abusive or neglectful parents, okay, illness, surrounded by illness, some type of debilitating disease that you've had to, whatever it is, okay? None of us come here without a hefty fee from birth. So we are typically born into incredibly difficult circumstances, and we spend every day our entire lives sort of butting up against those blocks and obstacles as well. However, the more we get into our light work, the more we are willing to abide by our life contract or do the healing work we're supposed to be doing, we are going to see increased attacks. And this is where fighting the dark really starts coming into play even more so. All right. So the goal, I think, from negative energy in the universe is just to exhaust you from birth. Okay. To make sure if you don't have the energy, you can't pour from an empty cup. You don't have the energy. You've taken such a beating all the time, you will struggle just even to heal yourself, much less be able to get out there and heal other people. Okay. But we are the power players of the world. So category number 2 is under very high attack. All right. So group number 3, category number 3. This one. This is coming so hard and so fast from the dark energy, more than anything else, more than the other 5 ways I spoke about, right? When you are ready to level up and get out of drug use, alcoholism, self-abuse, self-degradation, when you are ready to really invest in yourself and get solid footing in your life, you're no longer going to be a victim to your toxic tendencies that have programmed you. You are going to see tremendous attack. And it's almost like if the universe, the dark energies in the universe can get you to fall off the wagon, they could get you to, take a few steps backward. You're in such a high risk zone for never getting out of it that seems to always be their goal, is just to knock you down far enough that you're susceptible to falling back into old patterns. Okay, so that includes paranormal attacks and all kinds of other things. Check out the mini classes here on YouTube at Ask Ivy for more information on paranormal attacks, drinking, drug use, things like that. People who have been through abuse and neglect also, and the trauma responses we have to that. All right, so these 3 groups are going to be living very differently than the average person does. You may not look at your life, even though you fit into one of these 3 groups, and say, well, I'm doing something really special, and so that's why I'm always under attack. You may not even notice that. Most people who come here with a really big purpose, they tend to not know that. There's a lot of confusion surrounding that. So you may actually feel like you're fouling in a lot of ways, or like, well, you're just like everybody else, but you do come here with a unique purpose and skill set, especially as you're navigating these attacks. So why are we being attacked? Let's talk about that. All right. You are being attacked because you have more strength than the average person. You have more character development than the average person, and you have more integrity than the average person. So strength, character, integrity, these are major threats to darker, lower level energies in the universe. These 3 things make you such an incredible power player that if you can get up to a place where you've got a significant amount of leverage or a following, a ministry, you've made a name for yourself, you're pretty unstoppable. Okay, because as we gain more power, we also pick up speed. So if you are falling into one of those 3 categories, you are gaining in these 3 areas: strength, character, and integrity. And this is really why I believe you are under greater attack. One of the reasons. All right. How did you gain all this strength? Well, a lot of it's just habit. It's like getting punched and knocked down, getting kicked in the teeth, getting kicked in the gut, knocked down, but you get back up. You get back up again. You get back up. You keep getting back up. You keep brushing it off. You eventually, once you've been beat up so many times, you don't even see it as a beating anymore. It's almost like a reflex reaction. You just sort of catch your breath and you're numb to it. You get up and you keep moving. Your focus is so intense at that point, and you don't even recognize how strong you are, that you can get through anything. Okay, so you're a big threat to dark energy in the universe because of that level of strength that came from you being tested and you persevering. Another reason you're a threat is because with character building comes a moral compass, ethical code of conduct, morality building. And so your character has been proven in time to go high instead of low. So we all know people like this. We know people who have no character. It's almost like they have no personality. They have no moral compass. You can't count on them, even if they're nice people or they're kind of like Switzerland. They never take a side. They never seem to really believe or stand for anything. Those people are dangerous because they will fall for anything. And technically, if you're not feeding the light, you're feeding the dark by being passive. And we have to understand that when we become the type of person who stands for something and your character develops, your moral compass also develops with that. And you are an incredibly valuable player in a world that is essentially crumbling, especially in these areas and now. Okay, so watch for greater attack there. But you should honor yourself, pat yourself on the back. It is no easy feat, especially if you came from an environment where you were not raised up by people who had a lot of moral integrity and you found it yourself. You realized that your conscience wouldn't allow you to do certain things. You chose right from wrong, high versus low repeatedly. All right. And the third category here, integrity. All right. What does that mean, integrity? Well, it means you can't be bought. It means that if dark energy gives you a beating, you're not going to sell out. You would rather go out. You would rather, some people feel that they would rather die than to cheat on who they actually are or hurt somebody else. Your integrity becomes so strong in time that there is no way for you to be manipulated into choosing low, dark energy and getting down in the dirt and hurting other people or hurting yourself. You're not willing to do it. Okay, so you can't be easily manipulated. You have integrity. All right, so why else are you being attacked? Well, let's talk about number 2. You're most likely to succeed, and you continuously prove that you're going to blast through not only attacks, but pretty much anything. So once you realize that you are under attack every time you're about to level up, you start applying this to other things in your life. You start recognizing that anything could be a potential attack, that any new opportunity in any area or anything positive that you think, any way you want to tweak your life, any change you want to make, any feeling you have too about spiritual development or, the way the universe is communicating with you. Anytime you go and you feed positivity, you expect a beatdown for that. And so it's like you have figured out the science of the universe, and that makes you an especially huge threat because once you know it and once you've learned how to navigate it and you're actually walking it out in your life, you're going to start teaching other people. Not even because you want to, but because you're going to develop a ministry. People will start to come to you. And that is why, number 3, you get attacked more. So people will start going with you on that journey. And it's like you're a light. It's like you're a candle in a dark room. So the world is a dark place. And when there's a lot of darkness, even the slightest little bit of light that shines is naturally going to attract people to it. So people are going to witness your light and gravitate like moths to a flame, whether you want it or not. They are also going to pick up on your energy like it's contagious. So energy transfer, energy vampires as well, energy exchange is a very real thing. So not only will people come to you, but they'll start to act like you. They'll start to study the way that you think, the way that you live, the way your energy is. And they're going to start mimicking it. And then we see that you will have at some point, and some of you may already be noticing this, some of you may be entering into this relatively soon. And Spirit's just telling me a lot of people by the end of this upcoming year, you'll be feeling this, that you've gotten a following So I don't care if it's on your social media account. I don't care if it's a ministry because, you're like a reverend, or if you're a teacher, or if you're some type of counselor, if you give psychic mediumship readings, I mean, whatever it is, okay? Energy work, it's not about, and let me explain this. When I say you came here with a lightworker's contract, I don't mean you have to be flipping tarot cards, or you have to be offering Reiki. There are so many different kinds of light workers in the world, especially since we started peaking in 2019 with the awakening. So you could be a contractor, you could be I don't know, a roofer, you could be a taxi cab driver, you could be running some random business where you make muffins. It doesn't matter. We are being called in so many different areas. But what you will notice is that you have a following of people who want to hear you speak, or they want to be near you, and they are receiving healing energy from whatever it is that you offer. So we want to think outside the box on that. And we will be seeing, again, a pretty rapid increase with ministry building. Okay, so that is a huge threat to negative, lower, darker energies in the universe. Now, I want to talk about what you should really expect. So some of you are listening to this and you're like, oh, I completely understand everything she's saying, and I'm already going through this. And you're just happy to have found an opportunity to sit in with the like-minded and sort of bask, right, in the information and the confirmation. Others feel that this may be affecting you, but you're not sure exactly what these attacks look like. And I'm going to break that down now. It is important, wherever you lie in this, or which of the three categories, that you pay close attention to this part, especially so that you can better protect and prepare yourself going forward. All right. So I believe that there are three different levels to this. We have the beginner's stage, we have the advanced stage, and then we have the master's stage. So what happens when you're in the beginning stage one of having to fight the dark because you are really significantly evolving? And you should be watching. I'm going to break down three in every category just to keep this simple today, okay? So the important thing to remember, if you're in the beginning stage of all of this, is that anything you build is basically going to be garbage when it comes out of the gate. You should be very reasonable about what the product you're offering, or the work that you're doing, or the ministry that you have, the following that you have, what it's going to actually look and feel like. It may feel and seem successful in a lot of ways, and then it completely deteriorates. Or you may feel as though, oh my God, everyone's attracted to what I'm doing and what I'm offering, or like my YouTube following is going really great, or my TikTok following is huge, or the people that I have working with me in my, in my project or my light work or my activism, this is going great. And then all of a sudden they all turn on you. They all steal your stuff, or they're backstabbing you, and the whole thing comes tumbling down. So we have to be realistic that when you first start building this and you're in the early phases of fighting the dark, level one, you're going to put out product and attract people and situations that are likely not going to last, and they're not yet of quality, and that's okay. Anything new starts kind of trash, okay? And you're going to need to learn from that, study that, especially the people that were drawn to you, especially those that want to be your bestie or work for you or work with you, right? And they just admire what you're doing and they're all about it. Watch out, okay? But you're going to study this. You're going to learn from this. A lot of the attacks are going to come from there. Now, the goal is to take you down before you've even built anything significant, before you're even on a solid foundation. If dark energy working through all these toxic people, these toxic situations, can make you quit early on, right? They did their job. So you're watching for narcissists, traitors, gossip, anyone trying to take you down. You want to be very careful in the beginning phase of who's in your bed. It's not common, or I should say it's not uncommon at that point to attract lovers who just absolutely worship and adore you and want to be very, very invested in your life. But narcissists and sociopaths are very common at that time. So watch who you're in bed with. You also want to watch out for crooks, cons, getting into contracts with other people who want to like partner with your business or your project. Be careful who you hire for any kind of work at that time or into your life at that time. So number 2, psychic attacks are rampant. When you are starting your major level up in life, you are starting your light work, your healing work, you are starting to really abide by your life contract, you are going to find that psychic attacks on you from other random people are going to infiltrate. And you may start to wonder if you're paranoid. You may think that your telepathy is just like gone haywire. This many people can't be against me. People can't be meaning harm to me. I didn't do anything. Yes, they do. Yes, they did. Yes, you're accurate. Check out the free mini class on psychic attacks. Okay, here on YouTube in the playlist. And I think it's called like psychic attacks and how to protect yourself. Okay. So there will be more. It's in what's seen and it's in what's unseen. And you will see the red flags, but you have to be mindful of watching for them all the time. And you have to not negate them. You have to not second guess yourself and say, oh, I'm just being paranoid. I'm a nice person. I don't want to think the worst of people. Well, the legal system does, it's really like guilty till proven innocent. And, why are you so quick to protect them, not yourself? Okay. Do some healing, do some shadow work in that area. Judge everybody. Who cares? It's not like you're being nasty to them. You're just protecting yourself. That's okay. Boundaries are healthy. Boundaries are necessary. Okay. So let go of that old programming that has caused you to be open, wide, and susceptible to beatings. All right. You first. So it's in what's seen, but you may negate it, and it's in what's unseen. And so a lot of psychic attacks that come from people who see you as competition, or they're jealous of you, or, they're just a dark energy. They want to wipe you out. It's not going to be obvious, or anyone who you're even interacting with. Quite possibly you're being watched through social media or some type of gossip and things like this. We're going to talk about, at the end of this class, 5 different tips on protecting yourself, and I'll review that again. All right. Now, the third thing that you should really watch for if you're in the beginning stages of building is your judgment, your discernment, and you knowing how and when to place certain boundaries on people or situations when they need to be placed. Do not slow down. Be quick and be cutthroat if you need to. But what most people do when they're learning a lot about their discernment, they're learning a lot about their judgment. They say, oh, well, again, I don't want to judge, or I'm not sure. I'm not really confident with my accuracy level. Or maybe you feel wrong about a person. You feel wrong about a situation in your gut, but you say, I don't have proof. How do I know? Well, you're going to have to get a lot quicker on this, because this is where you are super vulnerable to attack, but you did know in your gut, in your bones. So honor that. Commitment to your cause is really going to be tested in this. So what a lot of people do is they start moving forward with the level up in their life. And then you get so many different mixed messages from the universe, let's say, so many different blocks and obstacles, and these literal attacks on your discernment and your judgment, that you think, I'm not cut out for this. Sort of like imposter syndrome. And you think, my dedication to this cause is definitely not what it was. before all this bad luck, started happening. This is maybe bad juju, or it's karma, or I'm going the wrong way. And a lot of people never get past the beginning stage because they abandon their cause. So be very careful. Let's talk about the advanced stage. Are you jumping up here? I would prefer you don't, sir. My cat is about to attack me and the fire and everything. Stay down, please. So let's talk about the advanced stage number 2, the 3 different ways you're going to find yourself under attack. And I do appreciate, again, if you guys didn't already give this video a thumbs up, please do so now. Donations are appreciated. Subscribe, and please do post your questions or comments. I run interactive classes, so I'll be taking all of your questions at the end of the curriculum, and give your feedback here for your brothers and sisters that are tuning in. We need to support each other in this. It is a really difficult process and a rude awakening to understand that your whole life is, stay down, that your life is probably going to continue like this. And we need to encourage each other more than what we do. Okay. That it's natural, it's normal, and it's okay. So post your reactions. All right. So advanced stage number 2. All right. When you start to become more settled in your dedication to your life contract, your work, whatever it is, you're going to find that the attacks become less frequent because you've figured it out, but they hit harder, deeper, and they last longer. So when you start to have problems that are severe, okay, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute for number 2, something like maybe a legal issue that lasts many, many years, let's say you are prone to things like mental illness, depression, anxiety. When you have entered into the advanced stage, and your attacks are long and severe, maybe not as frequent, but they never seem to end, you really need to take better care of you. And if you haven't done so previously, you're going to need to make yourself a huge priority every day, not a vacation once a year, not 4 days on the beach. I need to get away. Nope, every day. Throughout the day, you need to maintain a healthy energy for yourself. And I would recommend to a lot of people, you seek therapy, okay, or some kind of holistic healing and things like this. Help your self to maintain your wellness, because it is exhausting. I think of it like being on a track, in high school, and being told you got to run around this track, for X amount of time, and you're only a quarter of the way there, and you feel like you're going to die. And it's like, this can't be real. Yep, it is real. All right. So number 2, it doesn't only hit you deeper and, more severely for longer periods of time. It also hits you in unexpected areas. So you have finally mastered, right in the beginning stage, how you're going to be under attack, what these clowns are going to look like trying to get into your life or your business and wreck your stuff, who's pooing in your yard. I mean, you finally figured it out, and then this starts to happen, and it's like, what? It's pretty surreal. So you get hit in unexpected areas, and you may find that it's completely uncharted territory for you. Not only is it typically uncharted territory for you, if you're not surrounded by other people who are constantly leveling up in their life, you're going to be the only one who understands the level of attack you're under. So if you're with people who don't do much in their lives, they haven't even made it to the beginning stage, they're not going to be able to really fully support you in the way that you need. So it can also be very lonely. So what are we looking at? Severe financial crisis, possibly even like a total loss of income, job loss, career problems, foreclosures on your property. You could be looking at divorce. You could be looking at, I hate to even say this one out loud, but you could be looking at a partner that you thought you were in a committed marriage to cheating on you, or has been, talking about you behind your back or trying to destroy you behind your back. Long-term relationships falling apart, family members, friendships from childhood, even bosses or coworkers you've been with for a really long time, all of a sudden, these are not the same people. These are not the same situations that you had been counting on and that you thought were secure. All right. Now we also see that category number 3 here, or the the third biggest thing to watch for if you are in this advanced stage, is that family, friends, lovers go dark. And you may feel that you just saw their true colors for the first time, or I kind of knew that they were always sort of like that, but I must have ignored it. Maybe. But what also tends to happen is that by stage number 2, people around you are starting to get attacked as well. And they will be used to come at you. So if you had someone you were in a great relationship with and you trusted, and they were choosing, they were mindful, they were growing, and they were choosing high vibration energy in their life, but all of a sudden they've gone super dark and they're really, really toxic, and they're now attacking you, you have to accept that reality. You are not here to save them. You have got to protect yourself. You have to understand that you and everybody else in the world is responsible every day, all day, holding yourself accountable for your energy and your choices. And if they choose to start vibrating so low that they're feeding the darkness, and they're going mentally ill, and they're making terrible, hurtful decisions, not just for them, but for others around them, you gotta let that go, and you better clear it out quick, because everything you are trying to build in your life is vulnerable to not only their nonsense, but also karmic kickback from the universe, because you are not a martyr, because you are not put on earth to be a victim. You have a responsibility to protect yourself. Self-love, self-care, that's what creates healthy manifestation, law of attraction, good karmic return. Anything other than that, overreaching, crossing boundaries, feeding someone's negativity and dark energy, enabling them, essentially, you're going to get hit, in addition to everything else, with negative karmic kickback from the universe. Don't do it. All right, so that's category number 2. Let's move on to number 3. I've been in number 3 for a while. I hang out with other people who are in level 3, and I've been working with the public doing this type of work for 10 years professionally. So I've witnessed a lot of people in level 3, and I used to think that I was on some kind of mission from God, and I still joke about that, but I realize we're all kind of the same in this, and that if we can sort of collaborate, we're going to be a lot safer, because level 3 is some crazy, crazy business. Okay, so let's talk about the master level. You have decided in your life that regardless of the beatings you're taking, the obstacles, the attacks, you are going forward. You are going to fulfill that life contract. You are going to do your light work. You are going to level up every single time you see an opportunity. If it scares you, even better, you're going to go after this thing. This is going to happen, and you will not be reincarnating to redo all this because you were a weak link in your own development. You are going to find that the level of attacks on you are severe compared to anything you've ever been through, and that they are no longer just on you. And that's where things get really, really hard, and most people will cave or fold. So you could see attacks on your children. You could see attacks on your parents, your family, your closest friends. You would notice that it's almost like everything in your life and everyone in your life is being punished for the good energy that you're putting out. And it can be so severe, and it can last for such long extended periods of time that you literally feel like there's never a break. It doesn't stop ever. So the way I describe my life to like friends or anyone I've really ever gotten close to, usually at some point people ask me like, what's wrong? Or like, how are you still alive? Or like, how is this happening for you? Or like, how do you deal with this level of insanity? And I've always explained it like this. I feel as though I'm in a boat in crystal clear, calm waters, and the sun is shining above me, and I can see the sky, and I can feel the warmth, the rays of the sun on my skin, and it's a beautiful experience. But my boat is small, and I feel fragile in it because of its size, and it is surrounded by sharks who would love to tip me out and eat me alive or get in if they could. And often the boat is like shaking and rattling. And I have one job, and that is to not worry about sailing my boat. I don't have to do anything to control it. The universe is taking care of that. But my job is to stay focused as I can, the sun on my skin, and knowing what those waters actually look like, and knowing that I will at some point get to the other side, and that they can't get in the boat unless I let them, unless I freak out. So it's an uncomfortable way to have to live, but it's better than ignoring the reality of your circumstance. And so once I adopted that and I've adapted to that, I've been able to master these circumstances, as have many of my friends and coworkers in the company that I keep. So you have to understand that something like watching attacks on your family, your children, feeling like everything in your life is being punished in some way, that the psychological damage, the tricks, the mind games that can play on you are going to be the most severe. And that once you really master that focus on the sun that I talked about, you're going to be able to watch those things calm. Now, new attacks will come in, but you just got to master these things one at a time. Nope, I will not cave. I will not go backward. I will not feed dark energy. Nope. Stay focused on the truth and on positivity and the reality that the universe does have your back, your kids, your family, your spouse, whatever it is. Okay, the universe also has their backs. So it's going to try to, negative energy, wipe out all of your resources, all of your relationships. It can make you feel like you're in a chronic dark night of the soul. I think that's a completely different thing. But it could feel as though you're more isolated than you've ever been. And again, you're prone to things like the depression and the anxiety that we talked about in the advanced stage 2. It does threaten to wipe out, most certainly, if you've built a ministry or you have a following where you have to publicly speak. You have to, let's say you're running a business, right? You're running a company, any kind of project that's gotten big. It will attack there as well, often by just draining your energy so that you can't present, so that you can't think straight, so that you don't have discernment anymore, right? And you're just not as quick at handling everything. Your presentation is off. You're not in the game anymore because you're so wounded. Okay, you got to prepare for these things. Let's talk about number 2. These attacks, again, will last for years. So you're basically feeling like they're back to back at this point. Okay. It's like I get out of this and I'm already been to this, or I get out of this legal problem and I'm into another legal problem, or I'm in it, it's like what, it doesn't even end. So what's the difference, right? It's just Tuesday all the time, this drag. So it's like, okay, you have to eventually understand that if it is sort of a permanent fixture on your life, it really doesn't have the power it once did. It's not like, ooh, is it coming? It's like, of course it's coming. Of course it's coming. And you're looking at things like, we talked a bit ago about things like a divorce, right? You could be looking at something elongated. You're talking about custody battles. You're talking about change in residency, any kind of processes that are going to require extended periods of time for you to recoup from them or even get them complete. And so know that you are in it for the long haul, and that's okay. So are a lot of other people. It starts to lose its power over you, though, that's for sure. And number 3, I think that the real attack here is on breaking your spirit. It's on crushing your soul. It is like the final battle. You know, they say in a war there are many battles, you know, but it's sort of like that final battle that is going to tip the scales. And you are either going to complete this cycle and you're going to win and walk away from it, or it's going to be the end of you. So this is an attack directly on your spirit, directly on your soul. And you should prepare for it and handle it as such. This is very much like looking evil right in the face and saying, not today, Satan, you know, never going to happen. Be unbreakable. And if you have to, be numb. Okay. There's a time and a place to be numb, but don't drink or use to escape. We are going to talk about 5 different tips to protect yourself. And I don't know if I actually have this on the list, but on that note, Spirit's just impressing this upon me. Make sure that if you haven't already done so, you have eliminated any type of avoidance or escapist issues that you have. Overeating, porn addiction, excessive video game playing, drinking, drug use, I don't know. You know, there are a million things. Whatever your vice is, get rid of that poison before you enter into any of these phases, because I can guarantee that's what you're going to be tempted with, from lovers, from friends, opportunities. All that glitters is not gold. And when you're down and out, that's going to be the poison that comes for you. Okay. All right. Let's talk about 5 tips to protect yourself. Again, if you guys are new here, please give the video a thumbs up. Donations are appreciated. Please post your questions or comments now. I'm about to get to them as soon as I'm done with this part. So, number 1, you need to remember that everything is shown to you. You just have to receive it. So it's not as though you don't know these things, but it is very much that you may be putting on rose-colored glasses, or because it's so uncomfortable to think about, you don't want to accept it as truth. It could be that you don't feel that you're capable of fighting the fight, so you just kind of bury your head in the sand. You can't do that anymore. All right. So remember that everything is shown to you, but you quite possibly are denying it in some way. So keep your mind clear. Number 1, stay right-brained. We did a church service a couple weeks ago on why am I intuitive and I have no memory? Why do I have fog brain? Why do I have no memories of my childhood? Why can't I, be more present? Why do I feel confused all the time? Well, because you're right-brained. And so if you're intuitive and you're staying on the right side of your brain, you're not collecting logical left brain information all the time like other people are. Other people are analyzing the heck out of everything. They're taking little screenshots of everything in life. You know, they're paying attention to detail and conversation. You are on another planet. You are out of your mind. You are literally like, right? Like in the ethos, you're like just sort of tuned in, I want to say, to the universe. That's okay. That's okay. And if you are there, you are going to be able to receive the information, the warnings and the guidance that you need to protect yourself. So keep your head clear and stay on the right side of your brain as much as you can. Okay, here's another way you guys can protect yourself. You need to unblock your dreaming. How many of you raise your hands? Don't remember your dreams. That's not healthy, and that's not okay if you are going to be able to navigate your life going forward. Your dreams are the roadmap for your life. Your dreams are also where you receive warnings. It's also a heads up on opportunities that are coming, okay? So you need to unblock your dreaming. I have a dreams class up on the website. Go get it. I help you unblock. But use your dreams. Everybody, I don't care which of these 3 categories you're in, or even if you're you haven't even gotten to any of these 3 levels yet. Everybody should be journaling your dreams every single night and looking up the symbology so that you understand what it is that you're meant to do, and how you can protect yourself. Not only you, but others in your circle. Also, never, ever, ever ignore your physical symbology. Okay, I'm publishing a book right now on symbology from my psychic mediumship course. And I train in physical symbology for 2 hours during the downloadable class. Your whole body is full of triggers and alerts and warnings and messages that let you know when there's something that you should be paying attention to, who it is, how it is, the details. And if you're ignoring things like tinnitus, okay, the ringing in your ears, especially in the right ear, ringing in your right ear is often a warning. It's a heads up. It's a download of information about things you need to know. Okay, if you're ignoring physical symbology, you're going to find yourself in a pickle often. All right, so learn your body symbology. Also, never ever ignore channeling from spirits. A lot of people treat mediumship like it's a hobby, and that aggravates me so much. Or it's like entertainment, or I work a gig, and I go to work a gig, and it's like entertainment, like they're watching a freak show or something. And it's like, are we serious? We're not seriously talking to the spirit, the guide, the ancestor that's coming through, and listening to them and feeling like this is important. Of course it's important. And you should never, whether it be for you or for someone else, ignore what's being said or sent through you. Also, never ever ignore your gut instinct. I don't care how subtle it is. There's a free mini class in here called The Still Small Voice, where I talk about how your intuition is not always super loud. The majority of the time, spirit and your higher mind are going to be subtle. They're going to say it maybe once, maybe twice, but they're not going to compete with your logic, with your ego. So you have got to quiet yourself, and you have got to tune in to your gut instinct and never negate it or ignore it. Right. Another thing that you could do to protect yourself is keep your karma clean. If you have all of these attacks going on in your life, but you treat people like garbage, you're a liar, you're a manipulator, you're abusive toward other people, you've got it coming. Okay. You're not some hero in this. That's just your bad juju catching up with you. But if you are keeping your karma clean, and at the end of the day, you can honestly say, I've examined my day, I've examined my life, my mentality, the choices I made, and I owned my energy. I'm not perfect. Maybe I screwed up, but I did go back and correct it. I am doing the best that I can, and I'm learning from it, and I'm growing, and I'm determined to move forward with integrity. You are going to be able to move through these processes a lot easier. Keep your karma clean. Allow the universe to help you out and get your back. Because when you've got bad karma, because you're doing other people dirty, the universe really isn't going to step in for you. All right. Never forget what you heard about a person or a situation. So I think it's important, especially if you're new at this, to keep a journal. If you meet somebody, or you're getting into a contract, or there's a new situation you're entering into in your life, you're going to want to do an analysis on the way the energy felt and the visions that you had, any timelines that came up. Maybe you feel like, oh, these people are pretty good, but I don't like Sue. And I feel like Sue is doing something behind my back. And I feel like in 6 months, Sue's going to be a real problem. This is going to come to a head. Okay, well, journal that out. Okay, write it down and don't forget it. Play accordingly. All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 on 5 tips to protect yourself. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes open. Wait for whatever vision it is that you have and get a game plan going. All right, so what does that mean? Well, sort of speaks for itself. Keep your mouth shut. Don't be talking to everybody about everything. Don't be talking to anybody about anything. A lot of people say to me, I didn't even know you were going through that. Or like, how did I not know this? Or like, I know her, she's been around. How did I not know that you were watching this person, and this and that, and all this happened? Because I don't tell anybody anything, because I want to make sure that I'm not affected by other people's opinions or insight, that it is me, my higher mind, and spirit. This helps you with accuracy. Okay, so there's no reason to talk about everything. You've got it. You have all the power you need. You don't need anybody for anything. Don't worry about it. There's a time to reach out and there's a time to keep to yourself. Okay, so in situations like this, you're dealing with attacks, you're waiting to see if somebody or a situation is going to play out the way you suspect it might. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes open. Now, you are waiting for it to happen. Okay, so don't get lost along the way. Sometimes when we're around people or we're in a situation for an extended period of time, we get a little too comfortable and we decide it's not a problem anymore. And then it comes back to bite you when your guard's down. Get a game plan. Anytime you see that something may happen, you get a gut instinct that something may not work out, figure out what you would do. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's negative. Well, that's pessimistic. Well, that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or that's feeding negative law of attraction. No, it's not. It's holding yourself accountable and taking responsibility for what may occur. My grandfather always used to say, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's it. Keep a good positive attitude. That's great. But don't be a fool. So if you think something's going to happen, come up with a backup plan. Tell no one. And I would even come up with a backup plan after that, based on how it may go and how you can prevent damage and recoup any losses that may occur. All right. Let's talk about studying the situation regularly. Okay, so we're still on number 2. If you feel like somebody or a situation is going to work out in a negative way and you're keeping it to yourself, you're watching for timeline, and you're coming up with a backup plan, meet up with your guides and your ancestors, your higher mind regularly. On a regular basis, you really should be sitting for maybe 15 to 20 minutes with your guides on that topic, your protector guide for sure, but you're also calling in whatever guide is connected to that, your relationship guide or your work and money guide. You're calling in your guides and you're having a meeting and you're saying, is there any updated information for me? Is there any other pitfall I should be watching for? Have we adjusted any timelines on this? Is there anything I need to do? Okay. And keep that in the journal. All right, let's move on to number 3. Timeline is everything, people. I am so strict with my students. They will not get certified through the psychic mediumship program until they can prove to me that they've got their timeline down to a T. Timeline can be moved based on free will. So if we have too many hands in the pot, there's too much free will involved. Time can speed up or it can take longer. And other things are destiny charted. They are fixed. They cannot be manipulated. It is a guarantee that certain things will happen at a certain time. You need to learn the difference and you need to master timeline for different people and situations so that you can prepare. If you are in category number 2 or 3, if you are advanced or you're a master in all of this, you're going to really need to use this in regard to like legal matters, or people in your inner circle going dark, and also the attack that may happen, again, on your family, your children, your inner circle. If you've got a timeline, you are more equipped to prevent things from happening or to recoup. Okay, so timing is everything. Again, see Divine Timing in the YouTube playlist under mini classes at Ask Ivy. And number 4. What is number 4? Oh, I see. Okay. So number 4 in protecting yourself is about making sure you really understand the system that you're involved in fully and that you're embracing it as much as you possibly can. So I recently had some people come to me and say, you run this successful psychic business, you run this company and this school and all of this, but you're often surrounded by these toxic people or you're attacked, and like, why is it happening? Like, did you know? Here's the answer. Yes, I knew. I knew who, I knew when, I knew what, and I was prepared for it. I was watching for it. But I also know that I'm playing in a much bigger game than what the average person is. I'm not here to do little work. I am doing spiritual activism internationally. So I am part of a much larger war, and that involves toxic, negative people coming in and out 24/7 that I am having to interact with and manage. Okay. So if you understand what level you're on, you're going to understand the game better and never forget it. And also, don't let it get you down. Okay. Um, you could say it's an honor. It may not feel like an honor, but you could say it's an honor. Also, I would say this, try to stay optimistic about that because um, while you may feel as though you have terrible luck or bad things are always happening, you have to admit that your karmic payouts are ridiculously huge. Like you get advantages you've never seen anybody get. Okay. So, as hard as the losses may be, the payout is also off the charts. And if you haven't started to see that payout yet, don't give up. It will be there. I assure you. Okay. All doors open for you. You have like supernatural powers. Don't even worry about it. It'll be worth it. And number 5, okay, how can you protect yourself better? Seek counsel. Know that as an old soul, as someone abiding by their life contract, as a light worker, whatever it is that you're going through, you need to stay with like-minded people and you need to make some friends that are going through something similar to you, similar, not exact, but similar, and that they are also watching and figuring out how to fight the dark, and they are mastering skills and tools that work for them. You can then go to them as backup. You can get confirmation if you're not sure how to make a move. You can ask them to help you with predictions about things that are coming up or people situations so that you can better protect yourself. And wise counsel is going to be level-headed, not emotional. You know, they don't come from feelings. They're not all about their ego. They're not angry all the time. And when you're centered, you can give more authentic, intuitive, accurate messages, or I should say, you can get from them. Okay, more accuracy. So watch for people that are even on that. And I think that having different people in different areas that are skilled also in reading the universe, like I go to my astrologer for everything, right? So she comes to me and I go to her and we check each other. We check each other all the time. And if there's someone in our circle that we're keeping an eye on, we talk about that. And long before anything ever happens, we know exactly who and when and how, right? So we're constantly watching for the planets and how they're going to move in what time frame. I'm looking at life contract and other things, and then we're waiting to see how it plays out, and we build upon that all the time so that I know from patterns of like 10 years of doing this with her that I can go to her at any point. And often when I go to her, she already knew. Okay. And the same for me. She comes to me and I was already prepared with notes for her on the issue that's going to come up. Have wise counsel. Numerology. Okay. So astrology could tell you the planets and what to expect and when to expect. Numerology, the same thing. I do that with my numerologist. We're back and forth with each other all the time, checking on things. And understand that there are people that the universe has put in your life, even if you don't necessarily think of them that way or you've never thought of them very much. When you are going through something like this, fighting the dark, there are elders, there are wise, mature people, even if they're younger, that have been placed on your path. And some of them could even be strangers, right? Or your therapist, who knows? But they are there to counsel you. And if you feel that the universe has synchronistically put you together, you can usually trust that guidance. And sometimes that's all you need is one solid good word, okay, to keep you pushing through. So don't be shy to seek counsel in safe environments with the right people who are mastering some level of skill in integrity, in character, and in strength. All right, so I do want to move on to questions and comments. How are we doing here? So Destiny, my beautiful producer, if you could start popping them up, and let's see. All right, so we've got the Zen Keen Show on TikTok asked, how do you deal with living with a family influenced by dark energy? Well, it depends on your age. I think that the smart thing to do is to create enough personal space as quickly as you can. So as soon as you can leave, do. Am I saying that you should, cut your family off? You're not going to have anything to do with them in the future. You're going no contact. I don't know about that. I mean, that's going to be up to you how you handle it from there. But to at least give enough space so that their energy is not constantly taking you down. That is the first step. From there, your head is going to be more clear. And you're going to understand better about the boundaries that you need to set. And remember, if someone is disrespecting a boundary, that's really where you may have to go no contact. Okay. Jill Marie says, I feel like we're being attacked more now that the world seems to be crumbling. It's almost like we are easier to find, and the dark is extra focused on attacking us. And I think by us, she means light workers. And so, yes, check out the free mini class I put up called End Times. Are we there? I did this here on YouTube with Danny Johnson, our numerologist, and Christina Del Rey, our astrologer. So I talked about end times, the end of the world, apocalyptic things, more from an intuitive angle. And we covered also the numerology behind it and the astrology behind it. Am I saying that this is the end of the world? I'm saying it's the end of some kind of world. 100%. It definitely is. So we are all having apocalyptic dreams and end time visions and feeling that we're more under attack. But the reality is that with the Great Awakening really peaking in 2019, and this is going to go on all the way through 2024, we are really seeing the Hopi prophecy, the last stage of the Hopi prophecy, which says that all of those who have chosen repeatedly to deny spirit and to detach from the light are going to go mentally ill, dark, and fall off. And so part of what Jill, I think, is feeling here is that the attacks have increased because so many other people are feeding that dark energy. They've gone dark officially. And that just makes it 100 times worse because most of our attacks, again, come from people around us. Okay. So David says, yes, especially when you start respecting and loving yourself and start setting boundaries, ooh-wee, you'll be under attack big time. So yeah, David said a mouthful that the way we see not just people resent boundaries or you doing more with your self-love and self-care, but the way negative energy in the entire universe resents you for it and will try to wipe you out for even thinking about it. It is 100% true. It is undeniable and it is patterned. So learn it. Then we got another one from MontGirl12 on TikTok asked, how do we know what level we are on? Well, I would go back and listen to this and figure it out. Okay. When it's not like rushed and live, So Soul Spotlight on TikTok asked, how do you protect yourself from negative entities? I would check out my class up on the website called Hauntings, Clearings, and Attachments. Then I would check out my free class here on YouTube at Ask Ivy in the mini class playlist called Psychic Attacks, How to Protect Yourself. All right. And if you need to book a paranormal consultation with me. All right. Looks like we are at time and we've gotten to pretty much everybody. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It was absolutely a pleasure. It's so nice to be able to talk about this with other like-minded people who are on a similar journey. And I just think it's so important to support each other. So love on your brothers and sisters more, especially those suffering with this, because it really only intensifies. But so do the rewards. Keep feeding the light, people. Don't cave, okay? Love you. We'll see you next week for, let's see, next week, Wednesday, is going to be my Ask Ivy show at 8 p.m. Eastern here on TikTok and on YouTube, where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from spirit. If you need to book a reading with me in the meantime, or party, whatever, go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. And the call center, Ivy's Healing Call Center, has expanded. We brought in, I think, 8 new readers and healers, and we are even more so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, working internationally, all true light workers. Check it out. It's up on the website. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Destiny.